my DVA contract comes to a close April 1, 2014, it gives me a chance to reflect on my arsenal and how I've built it, how I've structured it over the past year or so. And the couple years leading up to these balls have really given me the basis for it. I'm really proud of what we've got here. For any kind of tournament competitive bowler, I've got a really nice spectrum and quality equipment all the way across the board. Everything from heavy oil long pattern to short oil hooking patterns. It's pretty well set up. I really like it. 14 balls, granted a lot of them are going to stay in the car for a tournament, but I have access to them, and it really covers such a spectrum that I feel like I can compete under any environment. Now I know what layouts I typically like on certain patterns, so I've got it down to a science of what I know I'm going to like and use in certain situations. I've got a couple pinned down lower RG balls in the Endless Nightmare and the regular Nightmare, and then a little bit higher RG cores in the Ruckus with a Ruckus Feud and a regular Ruckus, both pinned down. I go into transitions and it gets me into these pin-up Feud, a pin-up regular Ruckus, and a pin-up Brutal Nightmare that has always been one of my favorites. I really like this layout in this ball. It gives me a lot of versatility. Then I get into my symmetrics, my divas and my dudes, which everybody knows I like so much. I've got a pin-up dude, pin underneath the bridge, a little bit stronger diva, and a pin-up strong diva, giving me a good versatility on medium to heavy oil, all the way down to medium to light oil. Then I've got a Diva Pearl that I like to go to when I really want to boom the back ends. And then I've got my just-in-case balls. I've got a Diva Pearl with the middle finger drilled out, down to South America, getting rid of some of that differential so I can really be sure to get enough length out of it, and then a misfit for when they're really hooking. So the first company that's given me an opportunity to throw their stuff has been Motiv, and I thank Brett Spangler very much for sending me some equipment. Been very impressed watching their stuff out on the tour and some other competitive events, and I was really impressed with this purple one, hashtag purple ball. So that's this Venom Shock, really good looking bowling ball, and it rolls just as good. I gave it this typical Machuga drill, just pin above the bridge, mass kick 25 degrees to the right. It's a layout that I'm very familiar with when I'm throwing something that I'm really not sure on how it's going to roll. I got an idea how this is. I just kind of stick a layout like this in it, whether it's above or below, kind of complement what the ball is supposed to do. And this one's very clean through the front. Comes off the spot with some power. Great versatility. I can do a lot of different things with it. But what impresses me most is the way it goes through the pins. It's got some power, it really does. This one's going to get some competition time, that's for sure. Another thing that I'm really impressed with Motiv is the box that it comes in. Just down to the simple things. The handle's in a good spot to where you're not going to rip things. It's easy to carry. The top of the box is really solid, stays together and firm. But the information on the box is really nice. Shows the differential at 16 pounds at 0.031 with an RG rating at 2.48. That's really the most important things that we're looking at. Also shows a nice diagram of the weight block and then what the finish is on the cover. So a lot of information there that really helps you decide how you want to lay it out and how you're going to use it. So let's just go ahead and see how it rolls. That's the stuff I kind of like to see. A shot that I kind of missed in a little bit into the oil, got over top of a little bit, and to see the ball get far enough inside the 3-pin to get the 6 to grab the 10 on the way by. Really like what I've seen out of this ball so far because it allows me to put my hand into it without losing too much on the back end. And for a ball in that 30s differential, it's really a lot stronger than what it perceived to be by the numbers. so therefore it can handle a lot more oil. I'm thoroughly impressed. When we talk about versatility with the bowling ball, it's not what the ball does as so much as it is what the ball allows me to do with it. And this is one of those balls that it's got enough mid lane and enough back end that I feel like I'm going to be able to take my hand out of it a little bit, put a little less revolutions on it, and still see enough back end down lane motion to get the carry that I'm looking for. And when I want to be able to get up the back of it a little bit more, play a little bit straighter with a lower rev rate, I've got to do so with a much looser thumb hole. The last thing I want is to be hung up in that thumb hole to where I have to wrist that ball off of my hand. I want to be able to get a very clean exit and just a little bit of lift, kind of the old school lift with the fingers at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and rip a piece of tape out of this thing and see how it goes when we go a little straighter. Really like that smooth, continuous roll. That's what I really like to see, because that one came off the thumb a little quick, got into the lane a little bit, didn't quite get the lift on it, and it still had enough pop to get that 10 pin out. Impressive. It's time to see how it does hooking it a little bit. I'm gonna tighten that thumb hole back up. I'm gonna make the same move, 8 and 5 to the left of where I was playing around that third arrow. Should get me a little closer to the fourth arrow. And see how it does when I wanna increase my rev rate a little bit, increase the rotation just a pinch, and maybe even just a tilt bit of rotation too. I like it. That's nice. That's very nice. That ball laid off in the back end like I was trying to make it do, and it still got enough inside that 3-pin and 6-pin. Get a little bump on that 10, knock it down. I'm impressed. Thank you very much, Motiv. This one's earned a place in my bag.